Hi, I'm Jim Thompson, and I want to welcome you to this webinar. Actually, it's the first of two parts. In this webinar, we're going to talk about how you can get more referrals from your clients. And it's done in two parts because there's a lot of material that I wanted to cover, and I wanted to keep it short. I know when I watch a webinar, my attention span kind of fades after about 30 minutes, so I wanted to try and keep it short enough for you so you could watch it in two segments. And what we're going to talk about in the first segment, some of it you probably already heard if you watched the other webinar. I talked about referrals in general, but this is referrals from just your clients, and there's a whole different mindset that we need to talk about. So without uh, wasting any more time, I want to get right to it, and hope you enjoy it. Take some notes, and I would love to hear some of your feedback. When I talk to lawyers, I'll generally ask them what business are they really in. And what I really want them to say, they're in the business of getting clients. Most of them don't say that, but I want you to really start thinking the business you really need to think about, the business you are really in is getting clients, because without clients, you really are not in business. The first thing we need to talk about is your referral mindset, which is the foundation of everything we're going to talk about from now on. And basically, a referral mindset means that you are going to embrace getting referrals as the primary way to build your law practice. It is going to be a way of thinking. Everything you do from now on will be to promote getting clients through referrals. Now, it's not going to be the only way, but it is going to be the primary way. And if you think of that in terms of a referral mindset, you will get many, many clients. To get you thinking about having a referral mindset, I want to give you a definition of a referral that I believe is probably one of the best definitions I have ever heard. I used to think of referrals as being gold, but then I was schooled, if you will, by someone in one of my courses who said, Jim, referrals are not gold, they are pure gold. And I've adopted that definition since then. To help you further understand the referral mindset, and it'll be of great help, I want to go through some of the benefits of referrals that many attorneys that I talk to have never thought about. And when I explain some of these to them, it really opens their eyes to just how powerful and how beneficial referrals can be. I think what I'd like to do right now, as I mentioned, is talk a little bit about some of the benefits of referrals that you may not have been thinking about. And in looking at some of these, it's going to kind of, again, reset your referral mindset. And when you start thinking about all the things that referrals can do for you, it's going to make you want to develop a practice with referrals. One of the things that's great for attorneys is no selling. We all hate to sell, right? Every time we hear somebody talk about attorney selling, we kind of cringe. Well, once somebody refers someone to you, there's no selling involved. That person has already done the selling. They've told the person they're referring what a great person you are, so you don't have to worry about selling that person. It's when you become the attorney that gets a lot of referrals. Okay, that's going to enhance your reputation. So the more referrals you get, the more enhancement to your reputation. You're going to become the go-to attorney. And obviously, that's going to boost your self-assurance, your ego, because you are getting more and more clients. One of the things that's great is you get to choose your clients. How many of us would like to get rid of a lot of the clients we've had? You're going to get more qualified clients. And how are you going to be able to do that? You're going to be able to teach your clients the type of clients you want. And that's another process, but you're going to let them know the type of clients you want to have referred. And there's going to be less pricing concerns. You know, once somebody's coming to you, they pretty much already know what your fees are because they've already asked the person referring. And the other thing that's great, return on investment. The cost of getting referrals, once you start getting referred clients, the cost is very, very low compared to other ways that you have to go and try and get more clients. In the upper left-hand corner, you'll see a book that was written by John Jantsch, The Referral Engine. And in that book, he did a survey of about 5,000 small business owners. And the question he basically asked them is, where do they get their new business? And he found that 63% felt that over one half of their business came by way of referrals. Now, this is not a survey of lawyers, this is just in general businesses, but I would assume that maybe even for lawyers it's much higher. But let's just take that 63% figure. But this is what he also found. And then he went back and he asked this other question. What system do you have? Knowing that almost 64% of your business comes by way of referrals, what system do you have in place to generate referrals? And almost 80% readily admitted that they had no system of any kind to generate referrals. So if that many small business owners didn't have a system in place to generate referrals, I just wonder what system lawyers have in place to generate referrals. And I know when I talk to lawyers, most lawyers I talk to really do not have any plan in place to get referrals. So my question to you is, what is your plan to get referrals? Or do you even have one? Or could this be your plan? And I like to call it the accidental referral. And I don't normally like to read from slides, but I think I want to do it here because, again, it drives home a point. And for many lawyers, referrals are a coincidence, a fortuitous happenstance, a chance or maybe just luck. But above all, they are a pleasant surprise. It is all at once delightful and mysterious. They are thrilled to have the easiest client of their life fall right into their lap. But in reality, they do not know how or why it happened. In many cases, they do not even know where the referral came from and when they will get another referral. Does this sound like your plan? We've been talking about your referral mindset, but if you are going to get referrals from your clients, it is important, I can't stress that enough, that you develop your client's referral mindset. And we're going to explore this in greater detail, but I want to share something with you. Your clients may not even know that you want referrals. And this is a strange thing for attorneys, but the bottom line is your clients, think you're doing well. So they have never really thought about referring you, and they don't know how to refer you. So we're going to talk about some of the things you can do to get them to actually have a referral mindset and start referring you clients. In the previous webinar I did, I mentioned that there were 3 words that you needed to know if you wanted to get more referrals. And those basically, if you don't remember, were know, like, and trust. And as I mentioned in that webinar, the nice thing about getting referrals from clients is they already know you, they already hopefully like you, and they trust you. The problem is they don't know how to refer you. And what you're going to have to do is spend time with them teaching them how to refer you. So there really are 4 words that you need to know when it comes to getting referrals from your clients. Okay, as I mentioned, one of the most important things that you're going to have to do, and probably the most important thing, is to teach your clients how they can refer you. I know that sounds very like, well, they should already know how to refer me. No, they don't. Let me give you a perfect example. And one of the problems is that clients generally don't know all you do. You may have settled a great personal injury automobile case for them, right? And you see the client, he just thinks you absolutely hung the moon. He will refer every personal injury case, every automobile personal injury case to you that he comes across. Trouble is, he may never come across a personal injury case. And that's something you have to work with and talk about other type of personal injury cases. And again, that leads me into saying, you see this client 6 months from now, and you say, hey, John, how you doing? And he says, oh, Jim, you won't believe my mother's been in the hospital. This doctor really screwed up. And all of a sudden you're sitting there thinking medical malpractice case, right? And then you find out that he went to the attorney 2 doors down from you for his malpractice case. And you say, well, I thought you really liked me. And he says, well, I did. But I didn't know that you did medical malpractice cases. This is what I'm saying. You need to let that client know all that you do. This is a process that may take over a period of time, but and we're going to go through some of these things that can help you as far as teaching your client. But your client who loves you walks out that door will promise you that he will send every personal injury case or any kind of case to you that he comes across that he knows that he can refer to you. Chances are he forgets about you because he hasn't heard from you in a month or 2 months or 3 months. We're going to talk about that too. So the most important thing that you have to worry about when it comes to getting referrals from your clients is teaching them how to get and give you referrals, but also, I guess, teach them that you want referrals from them. And we're going to spend a lot of time on that. I mentioned that oftentimes the client may not even know that you want referrals. And so you've got to kind of plant the seeds. And one of the best ways I know to begin to plant the seeds is by your outgoing voicemail. And it's simply this, and it'll take you about 2 to 3 minutes to put on your outgoing voicemail, either on your cell phone or your office phone. But it goes something like this. Hi, this is Jim. I'm sorry I can't take your call right now. And then you say this. By the way, if you were referred, please let me know who referred you so that I can thank them. Right away, that person calling in, be it a new client, being a potential client, or being another possible referral source from an attorney, there you are letting them know that you want referrals and that you're going to thank somebody for referrals. And so every time they hear your outgoing voicemail, they hear, by the way, if you were referred, that starts their mindset thinking, oh, I didn't know Jim wanted referrals. And I've actually had attorneys come to me after I asked them to put this on their phone, and they said they've had clients come up to them and say, we did not know that you wanted referrals. Of course we'd want to refer you, that type of thing. So this is a very simple way that you can get the word out that you want referrals, and of course let them know that you're obviously going to thank them for the referrals. As simple as this may sound, if you want referrals, you're going to have to ask for referrals, right? But it's not as simple as it sounds. And I teach this, and it's very difficult for me sometimes to even ask for referrals. And I know how hard it is for attorneys and other small businesses to ask for referrals. But if you want referrals, you're going to have to ask for them. And just like I said in that voicemail, you've started that mindset. Now you can ask for referrals. But Jim, I don't know how to ask for referrals. I've never done that before. Well, this is what we're going to do. We are going to teach you how to ask for referrals without really asking for referrals. Before we go any further, I want to expose a myth that many attorneys have heard and the way they think, and that is simply this. Jim, if I do a good job for my clients, I am going to get referrals from them. Well, let me shatter that myth. If you don't do a good job for your clients, obviously you're not going to get referrals. But just doing a good job for your client does not mean they're automatically going to refer you. As I've mentioned before, doing a good job is fine, but you have to teach them how to refer you. You have to teach them that you want referrals. So just doing a good job will not be the way you're going to get referrals. So put that out of your mind and just think, I've got to do a good job, but that's only a part of the process. So one of the things that I often get from attorneys was Jim, where do I find the clients? How do I get these clients that I can ask for referrals from? Now, as simple as that may sound, when somebody asks me, where do I find the clients, I immediately think, well, wait a minute. Do you presently have clients? And if I get the answer is, oh yeah, sure, I have clients and I have past clients, I've got a good um, uh, practice built up here, and I've had a number of clients. And so we're going to talk about that in just a minute. The other thing is, if you're just starting out, think about this. Where do you find clients? Okay, we're going to talk about this in the next webinar that we do. But where do you find clients? You just hung up your shingle. Let your high school classmates know. Let your college classmates know. Let your parents and relatives and friends and those people know that you are now practicing law. You've got to get your name out there. And we'll go into that in the next webinar in a lot more detail. But let's for right now, I want to concentrate on the attorneys that say, Jim, I've got clients that I've done work for, and my next question to them is, when was the last time you been in touch with them? And I'll get this, well, it might have been right after I did the work for them, and I haven't talked to them in 6 months to a year, even 2 years. And my reaction to that is, why not? Why did you abandon these clients? And here is a simple answer, and it is so simple, it's probably going to make you wonder why you didn't think of it before. Attorneys, this is one of my favorite slides, and attorneys and other small business owners, it seems that once they develop a client, they abandon a client and they go looking for a new client. And basically what this slide says is, should I tell them I am here? This is a client that you've already done something for, right? He's standing right behind you, and you're looking for another client out there. You're spending money, you're spending time trying to get new clients, and here's a client that is already there for you. All you got to do is show that client a little love, and you can make that person a client for life. And I'm going to share something with you that a lot of attorneys have really never thought about. I will share with you that probably 80 to 90% of the clients that I talk to, or potential clients that I talk to, when I ask them about the lifetime value of a client, they look at me like, what are you really talking about? And it's simply this. You have taken the time, the money, and the effort to develop a client. That client now knows, likes, and trusts you. And so many attorneys I have seen, basically once they finish whatever their legal matter for the client, once they're finished, they never contacted a client again. They never talked to that client again, and they don't realize that that client has a lifetime value. And it could be the fact that they could come back to you for more work. They could get into another automobile accident, or they could uh, be an incredible referral source for the lifetime of your practice. And attorneys need to start thinking about this. When I have a client, what am I going to do to keep that client as a valued client? And if you start thinking in terms of what can that client bring me over the lifetime of my practice, maybe you'll start thinking a little bit more about keeping that client and the value of that client. What we have here is three letters, TOMA, and it stands for top of the mind awareness. And I find so many times that lawyers will not stay in touch with the clients that they've done things for, the clients that know, like, and trust them. They do something and they simply forget about them. I don't want to say abandon them, but you forget about them. And just like they forget about you, they love you, trust you, all that, they go out the door. 2 months later, they don't even know who you are. And they've met another attorney at a cocktail party that basically can handle something that you could handle for them. But guess what? They go and talk to the other attorney that they just met because they forgot all about you. Or as far as giving you a referral, they've forgotten all about you. So if you stay in touch with your clients at least once a month, and one of the things we teach is how you can do that, but I don't have time to go into it right now. This is something that is really crucial. I kind of want to go back on this just a little bit. And when we talked about the clients you already have, well, start targeting your current and past clients for referrals. And we're going to talk about how you can target your current clients for referrals, but even your past clients for referrals. These are your basis. These are the people that know, like, and trusted you. So now you have to bring them back into the fold, if you will, so that they can then become your referral sources. I want to make it clear, not every client you have is going to become a good referral source. And as you go through this process, you probably will soon develop a knack for who's going to be a good referral source for you, and you want to spend that time with that client to teach them how to refer you. But there's others that, no matter what you do, they're never going to refer you. So, but here's the other thing. The more potential referral sources you have out there, the more potential referrals you're going to get. So I want you to start thinking about targeting your current and past clients. Once you start thinking about your current and your past clients, when I say current clients, I'm talking about the clients that you have that it's an ongoing thing. Say it's a PI case or something that's going on for 2, 3, 4 years or some other type of litigation. That's what I mean by a current client. And past clients, clients that you've done things for and, for one reason or another, you don't have anything else to do for them. But you need to go back and think, who are these current and past clients that I can contact with? Can I make contact with them? Call them up. Have coffee. Call them up and say, how you doing? You want to find out about what's going on in their life. Have a lunch. Send a note. Hey, we really miss talking. Can we get together for lunch? Something like that. Take the clients that you really got to know and who really know, like, and trust you. And go ahead and do this, because one of the things you might find is, oh, I am so glad you called. I have another situation I need to talk to you about. You will be amazed at how many times that happens. So think about making contact with these current and past clients. One of the best ways that you can find out how you're doing as a law firm, how you're doing with clients, is to use a questionnaire or an exit interview. These are basically the same. The difference being the questionnaire is something that when you have a client, say a personal injury case again, or some type of litigation matter that's going on for a long time, after 3 or 4 months, you might want to get that client in and talk to them about, how things are going. And we'll talk about that with regard to the exit interview. You finish a matter for a client, and while you're wrapping it up, you kind of sit down with the client, and this is the same thing with only changing the wording a little bit with the questionnaire, and you sit down with the client and say, we really pride ourselves in the service we give to our clients, but one of the things we want to do is always be improving. And would you mind if we sat down and I asked you a few questions about how we're doing and just in general what you feel about our law firm? And most clients will be glad to do that. One of the suggestions I would have is if you have a written out form with blank spaces where you can fill in, because it looks a lot more professional and it looks like you're really going to use their answers. And one of the things I would ask is, you've been with us for whatever period of time, and depending on what the situation is, and we want to know what it is you feel about us. What have we done that's really impressed you? What do you like? And you'll get all kinds of answers, and the answers will help you. One client may say one thing, another client may say something else, but what those clients are telling you is what they would like to see your law firm do. And this goes for both the questionnaires and the exit interviews. One of the other things you can ask, and don't ever ask, what didn't you like? Because boy, that's death. You don't want to do that because they probably won't tell you. But the other thing is you can ask it this way: what could we do better? What do you feel we could have done better? Now, as they answer these questions, you're finding out what they think about you and your law firm. And then you can start this, well, we really appreciate what you said. Apparently, we've done a really good job for you. Would you mind if we talked to you about referrals? Because obviously we're building our practice, and one of the ways we're building our practice is by way of referrals. So can we talk about, maybe having you becoming a referral ambassador for us? And again, this is depending on how they've answered the questions and that. And again, not everybody is going to become a referral ambassador for you, but this is where you weed people out. And then once you've gotten to the point where you think, hey, this person's going to be a really good referral ambassador for us, that's when you need to sit down and teach them. The other thing is, and we're going to talk about it in the next session, about using these questionnaires and exit interviews to get testimonial letters from clients. And we're going to talk about how you can get testimonial letters and get them very easily. I want to talk to you a little bit right now about what I believe is probably the best way that a solo or a small firm can get clients, and that is to become the family lawyer. And I'm not talking about a family practice lawyer. I'm talking about becoming the family lawyer, the go-to lawyer. And basically, this is how it kind of works. You have a client that really likes you. You've done a good job for him. Say you're a PI lawyer and you've done a great job for this client. And at the exit interview or at some time during the representation, you sit down with the client and you say, Bill, I'd really like to talk to you about becoming the family lawyer. And this is something we're trying to develop in our practice. And let me tell you what I mean by that. Anytime that a member of your family or a friend that you know or a business associate has some type of legal problem and you hear about it, I want you to call me right away. I don't want that friend of yours to go to some other lawyer and not be treated well, not be treated like the way I've treated you. I don't want him to look at a TV commercial. If you hear something like that, then I want you to give me a call right away and let me know what's going on. Now, I'll give you an example of that. Let's just say that your sister is having some problems with her husband, and she doesn't know what to do, and you hear about it, and you get a hold of your sister and you say, listen, I've got a lawyer that I want you to talk to. He's a good friend of mine, really helped me out, and I'd like you to talk to him. Is that okay? Sure. Well, then you call me and you tell me what's going on, and I say, listen, here's what I want you to do. Have your sister come in and we're going to sit down and talk. Now, I'm a PI lawyer, obviously you know that, but I want your sister to come in. I want to find out a little bit about her case because then I want to be able to refer her out to a divorce lawyer that I know. So he brings his sister into the office. Both of them are sitting there. And right away, she's thinking, oh my God, my brother must be really important to be able to get me into this lawyer right away. So your status or his status goes way up in her eyes. Now, you're bringing his sister in, so his status with you and the way he feels about you goes way up because you're sitting there helping his sister. You see how that's working. Now, you talk to her for 15 or 20 minutes, and you find out basically what's kind of going on. And you have your 4 or 5 divorce lawyers that you refer cases to, and this particular situation fits a lawyer, and so you call up the lawyer while they're in the office with you, and you probably won't get the lawyer, but you get the secretary and go, hi Jan, this is Jim. I'm sitting here with a really good client of mine, and his sister is having a little bit of problems with her husband, and I'd like to get her over to see Tom if that's convenient for you. Would you take a look at his schedule? And so she comes back and she tells me, and so I look at the client's sister and I say, can you meet with them at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning? And her eyes go up, whoa, yeah, man, I really want to do that. Okay, so I get back and I'm on the phone. I said, well, listen, I'll give her directions and all that. Here's her name. And I'll have her be in your office at 10 o'clock in the morning. Great. Now, she just thinks you hung the moon because you got her an appointment like, wow, right away. The other thing is you say to her, oh, by the way, since I referred you, there's going to be no initial consultation fee. What has that just done? You have raised your status with your client, with his sister, and his sister's certainly going to tell her friends about how she was treated by her brother's lawyer. And now I've also been able to refer a case to a divorce lawyer that I have on my list of referral partners. So everybody wins in this situation. So I can't go into any more detail than that because it's time constraints here. But you get the general idea. And this works like a charm. I really want to thank you for attending this webinar, and I want to remind you that we're going to do part 2 tomorrow. I obviously couldn't fit everything I wanted to talk about into this one webinar that we just completed. There's a number of other things that we're going to talk about in the webinar tomorrow. How to get testimonials, how to take your client to lunch and meet a bunch new people. Now that you've exhausted your supply of your current and past clients, you've connected with them. Where are you going to find new clients? How are you going to meet new clients? We're going to talk about ways that you can do that. We're going to talk about maybe one of the most important things, and that is what happens once you get that referral. And the word there is follow up. But there's certain steps, certain things that you need to do as far as following up that will guarantee that you will be getting more referrals from that client that has referred you. So we're going to talk about a lot of things tomorrow in the webinar tomorrow, and I hope that, and we're going to keep it right around 30 minutes. I promise that, and I know that you're going to get a lot of value out of it, and I hope that you will take some time during this weekend to take 30 minutes or so to listen to that part 2 of the webinar.